My message to you today is write first, edit later. So in other words, delete nothing. Don't delete any of your work. If the object of NaNoWriMo is to write down as many words as possible within 1 month, why would you delete anything? Think about that for a second. When you're writing a novel in 30 days, you become extremely critical about your work and you are really hard on yourself, or you can be. And that's okay, that's normal, and I'd like to tell you not to be. But the truth of the matter is you're gonna be. And sometimes you might look at a whole day's work and think, oh my word, this is terrible, and then just delete it. I'm telling you, don't. As hard as it might be, don't delete the work. If you really don't want it in your manuscript or want it close to what you're working on, then copy and paste it into a new document, because you might land up using that piece later. Maybe you'll come back to it after you've written your novel. Maybe you'll come back to it and use it for another novel. Whatever, maybe you'll never use it. But don't delete that work at all. That's it. Don't delete any of your work. Don't delete any of your work. I'm telling you that now, because you'll regret it later, and that's the last thing you want to do, because you might need that word count as well. You might need it for NaNoWriMo. Back to write first, edit later. Just get the words on the page. Don't focus on editing as you write, because you will be so hard on yourself and you might never get your novel done in that way. So finish it, write it down. You can come back to it later. You can remove things later. You can change things later. You can change names later. You can change the whole thing later if you want to. But just write it first. Don't fall into the trap of self-editing too much. Okay? Don't be too hard on yourself today either. And don't forget to save your work. Back up your work. Back it up to an external hard drive, back it up to a USB stick, back it up to iCloud or to Dropbox, back it up to as many places as you can. I'm guilty of forgetting to back up my work as often as I should. So what I do is, while I'm working on the files, I keep them saved in Dropbox, so that if anything happens, at least I know it's synced to Dropbox. I also take all my notes and I write them down in Evernote. I take photos of my notebooks, save it to Evernote. That way I've always got a copy in the cloud. So don't forget to save your work, because there's nothing worse than losing weeks of writing. So save everything. I don't know if any of you have read the book, The Paris Wife. It's basically the story of Ernest Hemingway's wife. In the story, she loses his manuscripts. They get stolen. All of his work, his life's work gone. And I think for me that was the worst part of reading that book, because you can never recreate what you have lost. You can try, it might be better, it might be worse, but you've still lost it. So please save everything you're working on and write first, edit later. Have a great day, guys.